welcome to the Sunday Start. So we have tons of stuff going on at the office. First, I need a shout out to Dr. Kim. He was hoping to meet with him today, but timings didn't work out. So I said I'll see, or he sent me a text saying he'll see me on the Sunday Start. So this is hello, Dr. Kim. I figured we wouldn't share our conversation with everyone, but so that was the first one, just sort of joking around. Second thing, Dr. Shaw started this past week, and I want everyone to, if you haven't met her yet, make sure you say hello when you do see her. She started at Vestal, and I believe she's there every day this week. So say hello to her, make her feel welcome, and so far, a great addition to the team, and everyone's been happy. So let's make sure we keep it that way, making sure that we support her in any way that we can, and also bring her into the fold the way we do things and make sure that she feels comfortable in that. So thank you for that. And then third is Dr. Med's going to be leaving. We all know that, but I think it's maybe around the time of this video coming out. So I want to make sure that everyone, when they see him, next time you see him, make sure you say good luck and goodbye, and we wish him well. And we're excited to see how his future challenges happen and how he does. And anytime, and remind him that he's always welcome back in the event that things don't work out as he would like them to, or if he needs some help along the way, we'd be happy to service him in any way we can. From questions that need to be answered to anything that he needs. If he needs to come work for a few days to help make ends meet, we'd be happy to service him. So just make sure he's feeling welcome, and that you make it a smooth a transition for him on the way out. The good news is we have some doctors joining us at Front Street. So we have 2 doctors that are going to be joining us in August. We sort of penciled some deals out finally and so on. So they'll be coming, and you'll get a little bit more detail on that, but that will be starting in August. So that's exciting. And then I guess that's it. So that's just a lot of change happening, a lot of turn, people coming, people going, and sort of just the evolution of things. Commodias have started at Front Street as well, and so far that's going good, but make sure you continue to keep them involved and feeling good about it. It is, when you join an organization, and we have a big organization, you join an organization, it is easy to feel like everyone knows what they're doing, and I don't. Make sure you continue to welcome them. Understand if someone working a day or 2 a week at a Binghamton office doesn't mean they know all the ins and outs of the organization, especially at week 1, 2, 3, 4. They've still only been there 4 to 7 days or something like that. So you make sure you're including them and helping them to understand this and how things work. Lastly, the lesson of the week. And the lesson of the week is consistency. And so one of the things about consistency, we all want to do things, we all want to be consistent with the things that we say. So here's a good quote from Warren Buffett. It is, what the human being is best at doing is interpreting all new information so that their prior conclusions remain intact. So we got to be cautious of this, being too consistent, meaning making sure that everything, we don't fill in to preconceived notion that we already have, right? All women drivers are bad, right? Every time you see an accident and a woman's involved, I fill that in, versus versus all drivers are bad or whatever. So it's it's just you can interpret new information with the existing or your own preconceived idea, or you can and you tend to want to be consistent with that, and you got to be cautious with that. But more importantly, so we can use this to our advantage. So anytime you've made a public, effortful, or voluntary commitment, you are most consistent with it. So as an organization, if we make our patients be if they volunteer and make it publicly and effortlessly or effortfully, that they have to say yes, I'll show up for that appointment, and they're making it voluntary, they're more likely to stay consistent with that principle or that statement that they've made. People want to stay consistent. So here's another Buffett quote, and he says, we do have a few advantages, perhaps the greatest of which is we do not have a strategic plan. Thus, we feel no need to proceed in ordained directions, but can instead simply decide what makes sense for us as owners. And so Warren Buffett's strategy is basically don't have a lot of preconceived ideas, because that forces you down a path that you may not want to make a decision. So if you said, I need to marry someone who is tall, dark, and handsome, and you saw someone short, pale, and handsome, you would consider them not a good candidate because you had this tall, dark, and handsome idea. So it doesn't make, if they were a great person and now you're going after some loser who's tall, dark, and handsome, you're probably following a preconceived idea and trying to be consistent with it, something that may not be like in your best long-term interest. So not having consistent statements, for example, them not having a strategic plan, allows them not to worry about being consistent with those plans that they. So one of the things that I've made a habit of is not saying things. You may not realize this, but I will say things and I will float them to people. And when I do that, I say like, we are thinking about, I'm considering this and that. Once I do say like, we are going to do this, I know I've gotten to the place where I know we can move forward and do that. I'm very cautious as the leader of an organization to mention like, oh, we're going to do this, unless we're actually going to do it. Because otherwise I'm forced to be consistent with that, and that's a real challenge for me. If I'm inconsistent, people would love to point that out. So we've had lots of change. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm hesitant, right, to tell you details of stuff that I'm not can't sure that I'm going to be consistent with. But we've got Vestal. I forgot the other thing. Vestal's upstairs is being torn down. Torn up. If you guys haven't been there yet, you're about to see it. It's in a process of being redone, and so we hope when you do get a chance to come see it, you're impressed. But it's in a major redo process right now. So stop in there sometime. I mean, it's going to go on for months, so don't worry. I was told, and see, I'm not being held to this number, but I was told it should be done by the end of August, which puts me September 1st. So we'll see, but that's the plan. So I guess that's the story. Lots of change, lots of stuff going on. Try and stay consistent. Try not to commit to too much unless you know you can follow through on it. Have a great week.